Hello everybody, welcome to my studio in Ithaca, New York, the North Star Art Gallery. And this is a short presentation on allegorical works or works of Greek mythology, Greco-Roman mythology. And this one on my easel is my very newest painting. It's an oil on linen, a 36 by 44 oil, and it's called the Forge of Vulcan. It's based on a famous mythological painting by the 17th century Spanish painter Velázquez. And I had real models pose for me, some friends of mine that were on this canoe trip that I've been doing for close to 30 years. I got them to pose in poses similar to what Velázquez used, what he used for his painting. And then this fellow was posing in my studio. He wasn't on the canoe trip. So I presented some challenges of combining them together and getting the lighting similar on both groups of figures. The scene depicted here is called Apollo announcing to Vulcan that this is Vulcan here, that his wife has been unfaithful to him, and she's been unfaithful with the god Mars, the god of war. But Apollo is the god of poetry, music, and harmony. So I like to think that there's some kind of positive outcome. In fact, Venus is responsible for vanquishing Mars and holding Mars under control. There's a great painting by Botticelli that's in the Uffizi Gallery, or no, it's in the NGA in London, of Mars being vanquished by Venus. So there's something, maybe a positive moral there. I have this preliminary drawing here too, you'll see behind me, and this was a fairly involved drawing. It took me quite a while to do, and that's where all the sort of difficult work of getting all the figures combined was done during that period of time. And it uses some white chalk highlights, but basically compressed charcoal and vine charcoal combined. If you come back to this painting here, I've used mostly warm tones, except for what you're looking at right now, the garment of Apollo. One other thing about Apollo, he's usually depicted with a laurel wreath around his head, and he's oftentimes pictured with a halo because he's just appeared out of the nether world and just appeared to these mere mortals here. Well, I guess Vulcan is a god, but his workers are mere mortals. I did a fair amount of manipulation and moving things around. For example, this worker here has a mallet in his hand, and he didn't have one. And these fellows were actually holding canoe paddles, and I transferred them into kind of tools in the forge. So that's it. The border here. The whole underpainting was this kind of a bluish green color, and I decided to leave that in as part of the finished work. But there was some manipulation of the figures in the background too. The photograph kind of distorted some of their limbs. I was probably too close to the figures, and if you can believe it or not, this fellow's legs were way up here. His legs, when I looked at it, I thought that was just ridiculously too short to be believable. So I used my artistic license and actually changed the figures to appeal to my artistic sense. Okay, so that's the synopsis here of this particular mythical painting, and there'll be many more in the show, and you can see them on our website, northstarartgallery.com. Okay.